Reporting District, Division Plus Master B.
Yeah, it's a Social Millennial podcast. We out here. Gang, gang. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all for pulling up. If you're new to this show, my name is Marcuspena. This show is brought to you by Marcuspena Presents Media Group. This is just a podcast where we chill, kick back, talk about stuff that interested me this week. There might be rants. I try my best not to cuss and not to get too crazy on this platform over here. You feel me? On this episode of the show, the free ones. My hat's getting a little bit rough for me. For those who don't know, we've got a visual. What's up, YouTube? If you're listening to this, we have a visual component. Head over to the YouTube channel at socialmillenialpod. That's SOCIALMILLENIAL 1N POD. You feel me? Social Millennial Pod. For those of y'all who are watching and do not know that we are absolutely here for your audio pleasure, head on over to at Social Millennial Pod. Anywhere that you listen to your podcasts, we should be available everywhere. I mean, even like Pandora Radio, Pandora Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, we should be available there. For those who don't do apps like Spotify, etc., but you still want to enjoy this audio, maybe from the comfort of your own home on your desktop or from the comfort of your desktop at your job, there's a link in the description that will be labeled homepage. Click on that, and that is a landing page for every single episode of this here podcast, of this here program. Thank y'all so much. We are on every social media platform except X. We're not there. Had problems with them. Has nothing to do with Elon. Has nothing to do with whatever practices are over there regarding their content. It's had some issues there trying to get stuff going. But we're Facebook, Instagram. We are not on Snapchat, but everywhere you will find us at Social Millennial Pod, same spelling. So if y'all want to make it quick, y'all could just head over to Google and Google at Social Millennial Pod or Social Millennial Pod, and you will see everything. Down in the description, we've got merch if you want to support us. Down in the description, we have bonus episodes, y'all. So if y'all want something spicy where I can kind of let my hair down, talk about some controversial stuff, we definitely be cussing over there, but not all the time. Head on over to the Patreon. Links will be in the description for the bonus episode for this week. So this program has 2 episodes, y'all. So if y'all see the episode numbers over on this side, outside of Patreon, being kind of staggered every other, it is because the other episode is on Patreon, and you are definitely missing out if you are not pulling up and becoming a member. I'm not charging y'all crazy money. We're definitely way lower than Netflix money, way lower than Amazon Prime prices. If y'all want to support this program, what I'm doing, what my media group is doing, what this Afro-Latino Jewish guy's trying to do, pull up. If y'all don't have to give money, we've got 2 tiers. We've got a supporters here. If you don't want the content, but you just want to support what I'm doing, you just believe in a brother, hook a brother up. You feel me? Again, very, very cheap. I mean, dollars. We're not breaking double digits here. And then we have the We Here tier, which is where you will get the bonus content. We're also going to be developing this Patreon that you should go to and become a member of, because we're going to be dropping other membership tiers, other exclusive content, and 2 or 3 other shows. So that's in development. Head on over there, become a member as soon as you can, so that when stuff comes out, you can get those notifications. But for those who don't want to head on over there, absolutely give this podcast a like wherever you might be watching it, wherever you might be listening to it. Like it, heart it, star it, thumbs up or thumbs down. Comment where you can, review it where you can. Let us know what y'all think about the podcast. I will be asking questions during this. So wherever you can comment, absolutely comment. We'd love to hear from you. It helps the algorithm and it helps the channel. Make sure to follow wherever you can follow and subscribe wherever you can subscribe. All right, y'all. So here we go. We're getting into it. I've got disclaimer. I'm going to have a little rant at the end of this episode. So absolutely head on over. What we're talking about today is we're going to be dealing with Amazon. There's some changes with Amazon happening that I've been looking forward to for a long time, because something that they've been offering, sort of this form of retail that they've been offering has been trash. Many people thought that it was, and it's ending. We will be talking about the MTA again, because the MTA is a mafia again. I think we called what we're going to talk about on this podcast in previous episodes. It's going to be wild. But I'm gonna be ranting probably a little bit heavy on Ronda Rousey because some wild stuff just happened. This is, if you don't know, Ronda Rousey is a mixed martial artist, very influential in women's mixed martial arts, in terms of putting it on the map in a big way. So at the end of this podcast, make sure to follow over to the end of this episode because I'm gonna be talking about that, and I'm just gonna talk about it. So Amazon, what up? First of all, wait, before I get to that, how are y'all doing? We're kicking back. I don't need to be in a rush. I've got at least an hour of your time, right? Maybe. Let me drink some of this coffee out of my Dragon Ball Super Cup. For those of y'all who are watching, this is one of those cups that you put hot liquid in it, or I think it works with a really cold liquid too. Put hot liquid in it and it reveals a whole other picture. So even though right now y'all on the visuals, if I'm going to describe this for y'all listening, it's just a black extra large mug with Goku and Vegeta on it, for those who know about Dragon Ball, with the Dragon Ball Super logo. But all the blackness actually does have an entire graphic going around the whole thing. It's just my coffee kind of got a little cool, so you can't see it. But I think it's a pretty cool cup. I'm very grateful for having it. Yeah, how are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good this week. Not pretty good. I can't complain. I'm pretty hype. I did get to see Ghostbusters. I know I talked about it last week that I was going to do a video. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dragging my feet. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I am hyped this week. Getting back to a few gigs that were kind of put on the back burner because of Holy Week that passed. What's up, y'all? Passover. Happy Passover for my Jewish brethren. I hope your celebrations were wonderful and uplifting and, recentering. And Easter, the resurrection. What's up, y'all? Happy Resurrection Day. Happy Good Friday, I guess. I don't know. I don't really say those things too much, but y'all are listening. For anybody out here under the sound of my voice, if it benefits you, I had a great week. A lot of work for Holy Week. Like I said, a lot of gigs are coming back because of Holy Week, and a lot of stuff that I had to not do. There were things that I had to not take because things overlapped because I had a lot of work that I needed to do during Holy Week that didn't have to do with this podcast, but the other work that I do. For anybody who's new, if y'all don't know, I am an actor. I do act. I kind of say I'm an actor. I never like to say that. Like, I'll say I am a musician, but I never like to say that. I don't know if it's like imposter syndrome or whatever. But I am a musician. I am an actor. Been trying to get on a few projects as of late, so I've had some work having to do with that. I don't know. I don't think y'all care about my IMDb, but I'm out there. I'm out here. Bronx boy, Bronx's own. For those who don't know, I am a musical director. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I am a songwriter. I am a vocalist. And kind of just an all-around consultant, because I will absolutely consult for certain. And not a lot of people know this. I don't really say a whole lot to a whole lot of people, but I do, I am available and do a lot of sort of consulting for venues and churches, and certain things have to be upgraded. I kind of go in and see what needs to be done and sort of give my 2 cents on how we can develop wherever I can. I mean, even if it's not necessarily a contract or consulting, someone hired me, I generally like to be a blessing to wherever I'm at. And in recent years, I've had to remember, like, people around me have reminded me, like, dude, it's great that you want to better wherever you're at, but chill out with all the information that you give, because don't be giving too much away for free, dog. Like, you know what you're doing. Like, it seems like it's in passing that I'm just talking, and I like it when people are winning. So, like, I get invested in people doing great. And so I'll say stuff and I'll give tips and I'll give pointers and I'll kind of go a little bit too in depth where it should be that I should be charging them. I'm grateful for the people around me who remind me to, like, yo, it's nice. You're trying to be a good person, but don't be too nice. Don't be too good. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I do for a living. So some gigs came back after Holy Week. I paused a bunch of things so that I can do Holy Week. And I can't really complain. We hopefully, if all goes according to plan, we will be in a different space probably come the beginning or the middle of May. Hopefully, Lord willing, we'll see. It's not all the way up to me at this point. I've done the things that I have to do to be able to get into this other space. Now it's kind of just up to whether the people that I'm dealing with for the space, give it the rubber stamp, give it the approval. Okay, let's go. You can come over here. But I'm hype, but I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been betrayed enough times in my life, or and I don't know if you guys can anybody out there who can identify with this or who can kind of just touch and agree with me. It's maybe I've been betrayed too many times in my life, or maybe enough people who are influential enough in my life in my formative years, told me things or promised me things that they never returned on. But I get hyped for things like this, but keep it to myself. I really like push it down, like flatten it down. Like, don't get too excited, Marcus, because at the end of the day, it could very well not happen. And maybe if you don't expect it to happen, you won't be disappointed. That idea, if you keep your expectations low, then you have less of a chance of being disappointed. It's not really the healthiest thing, but I tend to do that. So I'm pretty hype about it, even though I'm not like jubilating. I tell the people around me who are also involved with this that, I'll be hype truly when the ink is dried. I'll be hype when we're in the space. We're in the new space. Everything's gone through, everything goes through. Then I will be able to sort of, there's like a tenseness that I feel that I'll then be able to just breathe again, kind of. But yeah, if everything goes according to plan, if everything works out as it should, and I don't see why it wouldn't, but it's the way I am. We will be in a new space, and I'm pretty hyped for that. Getting that together this week and last week. So yeah, I'm pretty, I can't complain, especially in this economy. It's not easy for any of us. It's not really easy for me. And don't get me wrong, please, when I say I can't complain. I say that not because I'm a terribly wealthy person. I say that not because in terms of like money, like net worth, I don't say that because, I'm getting checks and popping bands. You feel me? That's not what's happening in my life at this moment. It will happen. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what's happening. I say I can't complain because I'm here. I'm able to talk to y'all. I'm in my right mind. I have the use of my limbs. I can walk around. I can drink coffee. I can have coffee to drink. I can make that. It's just so many things that stack on top of each other, having to do with just life and living, that I can't complain. Can't complain. It could always be worse than what it is. And I'm not even necessarily saying that where I'm at in my life is like some kind of worse travesty kind of a deal. But, it could always be that you don't have even the simplest things. There are people out there. It's an adage that there are people out there that the life that you hate right now, there are people out there. There's someone out there who would dream of the life that you have now that you hate or that you're bored with. And so, yeah, I get that can't complain from a mentor of mine or a past mentor of mine anyway, who really was going through it for a lot of years and is still in the middle of going through it. And he would just still soldier on forward and be optimistic. And he would tell me, I can't complain. So, just so y'all don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying I can't complain because all the time business is good or quote unquote, or all the time, things are going right for me. That's not why I say that. That's not why I say can't complain. I say can't complain because I can't complain. I'm breathing air. my eyesight is here, my ears are here, you know, my stomach is doing its thing and digesting, like my body is functioning, and I have a place to lay my head, you know. I can't complain. And I've been through my fair share of things in my life. You know, I don't know if there are people out there who know me that I haven't spoken to in a long time, but, you know, please understand, I'm a human being. A lot of things have happened to me during the course of my life that I've had to live through. A lot of harrowing things, emotionally harrowing, physically harrowing things, that I'm grateful to the Lord that I don't look like what I've been through, that I could lean on him. I'm grateful that I have someone to lean on. I have a place to go. I have a strong tower that I can run into and be safe. I have truths that I can lean on that can sort of right the ship, that can right my ship. And not a lot of people have things like that. Not a lot of people, you know, create those kinds of touching points for themselves where when things go wrong, they have that, you know, they have those northern lights to guide them. You know, for those who've known me in the past or who haven't talked to me in a long time, gone through all kinds of things. And I'm just grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. I'm grateful that I can still be here and that I can still have a smile on my face. So that's why I say I can't complain. That's why I say maybe a little bit of getting to know you time for Marcus Pena, but that's why I say I can't complain. So I hope you guys had a great week. My week was good. I'm doing fine. I'm content but not conformed. There's a lot of things coming down the pike. I'm very happy to be developing a few shows for Marcus Pena Media Group that will be featured. Some of them will be Patreon only, and some of them will be just like this show. This presentation for y'all will be available to y'all on YouTube and other platforms. So keep on the lookout. You know, if y'all don't subscribe because necessarily y'all ain't laying down with the kind of content that I do, maybe I'm too boring, maybe I'm not as funny or not as entertaining, subscribe just to kind of be in the know of what's happening, because there's definitely going to be a bunch of other things that we're going to be offering y'all in terms of content that are not this. This is the kickback. This is a millennial sitting down, engaging and interacting with the world and bringing it to y'all. Hence the Social Millennial podcast. That's what this is. The other shows will not be this. They may be podcasts, but they ain't going to be this. It's going to be something else. We going to be on a different page. So yeah. Thank y'all so much. I'm very grateful for y'all being here. You know, I'm very grateful. I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to drive y'all to membership in the Patreon. Not at all. Thank y'all so much. We've had so many episodes just on YouTube and on Spotify, etc. Very glad for it. Now that we're doing 2 episodes a week, I mean, the episode count is growing real quick. When we get to episode 100, I don't know if I'm going to do a portion of it on Patreon and then a portion of it on YouTube, like 2 episode 100s. I don't know. I might just do an episode 100 on here, like just make it available, and we'll try to do something cool. I'm gonna try to plan something visually for the viewers, but then also plan something also for the audio, and not 2 separate episodes, but just like have both communities in mind. Our YouTube on visual community and our audio community. I hope whoever's hearing this, whether it be in the morning, drinking your coffee, or the morning commute, or at work during your lunch break, or at work to kill time, just have something going. I hope that y'all are having a great time. I hope that y'all are grinding. You feel me? If you're grinding, that you're grinding for you and yours. You're getting to where you need to be. And I just, health and wealth to all of y'all. So now we'll get into it, because I'm not trying to rush this. Here we go. Let me take a sip of this coffee. Bustelo's hitting today. Here we go. So, for our first story of the day that I came across, this is according to futurism.com, Amazon abandons grocery stores where you just walk out with stuff after it turns out its quote unquote AI was powered by 1,000 human contractors. Oh my gosh. Let's just get to the article and then I'm going to talk about, let me take the brightness down because this thing is on probably reflecting off my glasses crazy. Where's my thingy? Okay, eye comfort shield. Is it the do not disturb? No, it's not the do not disturb. This tablet has things here a little weird. It's no. That's not it. Huh? Yeah, why was there? Isn't there another dark mode? Scan QR, mute from portrait, don't disturb. Okay, we'll just leave it like that then. All right, whatever. So we'll do that. Okay, here we go. Amazon is giving up with its unusual, quote, just walk out technology, the information reports, which allowed customers to simply put their shopping into their bags and leave the store without having to get in line at the checkout. The tech, which was only available at half of the e-commerce giant's Amazon Fresh stores, used a host of cameras and sensors to track what shoppers left the store with. But instead of closing the technological loop with pure automation and AI, the company also had to rely on an army of over 1,000 workers in India who were acting as remote cashiers. In other words, just walk out, a highly invasive marketing ploy to get more customers to shop at its stores while actively undercutting the local job market, will be missed by few. Instead of just walk out, Amazon is now betting on scanners and screens embedded in the shopping cart called dash carts. The tech they're replacing, however, was far more ambitious. In 2018, Amazon started rolling out its Just Walk Out system, which was meant to revolutionize the retail experience with AI. Worldwide. Several other companies, including Walmart, followed suit by announcing similar cashierless stores. But over 5 years later, the system has seemingly become more of a burden. According to the information, the tech was simply far too slow and too expensive to implement, with outsourced cashiers reportedly taking hours to send back data so customers could get their receipts. Apart from relying on cheap outsourced labor instead of paying fair wages locally, critics have also long questioned Amazon's practice of collecting a horde of sensitive data, including customers' in-store behavior, turning a quick visit to the store into a privacy nightmare. Last year, the consumer advocacy group Surveillance Technology Oversight Project filed a class action lawsuit against Amazon, accusing the company of failing to inform customers that it was secretly selling data to Starbucks for profit. Despite its aggressive push into the retail market, Amazon's grocery store footprint in the U.S. is still dwarfed by those of its competitors, including Walmart, Costco, and Kroger, as Gizmodo points out. Whether dash carts will turn out to be any less invasive from a data privacy standpoint remains to be seen. Okay, so the dash cart thing makes sense to me. First of all, Amazon, hold this L, because I expected this to be a L way back when y'all introduced it back in 2018, late 2017. For us in New York, it was known as Amazon Go. For those of y'all who might have seen the commercials on YouTube or wherever, you walked into Amazon. Very early on, you just walked into Amazon. And, you know, with your Amazon account active, etc., you walk in, you do your thing, you grab your stuff and you go. Also, very early on, you had your own sort of like pricing area where you would like price your stuff and it would be linked to your Amazon account. So whatever card was on your Amazon account would pull the money from there and you would walk out. It got quicker. So first it was like that. Then it got faster by doing this like Go system where somehow magically through AI, because at the time it was very nebulous, you would just walk out with stuff. You just walk out with stuff. Now I think they have like the sign-in thing where it's sort of like a turnstile that you like. It's a thing. Because if you want to use Amazon Go through the app, it like gives you a barcode, and then you like hit that barcode on the thing, like scan that through the turnstile. You go in, you grab your stuff, and then you bounce. So that it can be linked to your Amazon account. It will pull the money from that card that's attached to it, and it will count as Amazon purchases. We understood it as Amazon Go. There is one out here, one that I know of in Manhattan. No, two that I know of in Manhattan. One was by on Fifth Avenue, if I'm not mistaken, by the New York Public Library down by Times Square in Midtown. And then another one, which I've never been in that one. Then another one that, oh man, I got to remember where that was, by St. Peter's Church, I think. I don't quite remember. I think it's by St. Peter's Church. Yeah, that there's one there. I remember we had to make a return. I think that's the one. And you just go in and you grab stuff. Now, I knew this was going to be an L because one, technology had not caught up. Two, there was no real way of scanning like your items anyway. So I knew something else had to be going on because we had not had all the weird facial recognition tech that they were making, that they were telling us that existed at that time. And I thought it was kind of trash too, because as many people did when it came to New York, because Amazon was trying to they were as a company trying to get into the retail marketplace, like mom and pop brick and mortar retail marketplace, and have a retail footprint without paying workers their fair wage. So then when they figured out a way, clearly now that it's coming out, they had figured out a way to try to have a physical retail footprint, but then also outsource the labor or what labor that they could. So it's wild that they touted this like AI technology for this, but really it was just people looking at screens, looking at video feeds or what have you, seeing what you picked up. Or people seeing what you picked up with the data in terms of like pulling off of the shelf at that specific time, etc., to then have to physically create the transaction. Like physically, they have to do the transaction for you. So it's not any kind of automated. It's not any kind of AI. It's not any kind of. You still had a person, as if you went to a supermarket, got your stuff, went online, got to the cashier, gave them their stuff, they priced it up, took your money, and gave you a receipt. All they did was take that cashier and figure out a way to pay somebody in India to be that cashier, so the cashier doesn't have to be in the store. Also that they could not have to pay people and use their money. But I say Amazon as a company, corporate Amazon, is trash. I mean, when they become gigantic corporations, they then have to be trash, essentially. Like it's almost, you can't get around it. When you're dealing with capitalism, when you're dealing with sort of a capitalistic mentality, not necessarily capitalism on its own in a vacuum, but human capitalistic mentality, human greed, you get that big, you buy big for yourself. So now you have to continue to go big or go home in order to pay off the bills of your big personal life. That's generally what that becomes. People, more often than not, don't come into $500,000 salaries and still live as if they're making $50,000. Generally, people don't do that. They get their $500,000 salary and they want to live like they make $500,000. You know, they get their 1.5 million salary and then 10 million bonus in Christmas, and they don't want to live like they're making 50,000. They want to live like they're making $40 million a year. So when you get there to that level and you succumb to that human urge for more, you have to then start becoming, not even start, because in order to get to the top, you have to be an a-hole. You have to be ruthless. You have to not care about people. You have to be a psychopath. So a psychopath, a sociopath, you have to get to the top, but you will really not care who your business is hurting, because you need to pay off the mortgage for your $40 million estate, $40 million mansion. You have a crazy mortgage that you have to pay. So let me get these millions. Can we save the company money so we can keep more of these millions because I need my bonus type of a deal? So corporates just is trash anyway. But This same technology that essentially was developed or maybe was implemented by Amazon is also being used in other places. Six Flags Great Adventure has a shop, one shop. For those who know Six Flags, it's right by the Ferris wheel, by the big wheel, that they're re-rolling out for the 50th anniversary. Check them out. I'm going to be over there this weekend. So if anybody who listens to the podcast wants to look out for me, we'll be at Six Flags Friday and Saturday of this week. So absolutely pull up. I'd love to take pictures with y'all. I'd love to talk stuff with you, talk shop with y'all. But Six Flags Great Adventure, they have one shop that employs this Amazon Go technology, and you never see nobody in that shop. It's usually ghost town. I mean, I've never seen anybody go in and out of that shop. So that's probably going to be gone with Amazon kind of pulling the plug on this technology. That's probably going to be gone again, and they're going to turn that into something else. Excuse me. But yeah. So Amazon, I knew y'all was going to take this L. I'm glad now that they're doing sort of the dash cart technology, because I think who does it? ShopRite, I think, has a kind of technology like that. I don't know if they still do their guns, because what ShopRite would do to do like a sort of self-shopping thing where you could skip the lines at the cashier, if you were part of their program, Shop and Go or something it's called, Stop and Go, I don't know, I don't remember. But you were able to get these pricing guns, wireless pricing guns, right? I don't know if it was that you scanned your like ShopRite card to it, and then it goes to your account or whatever. And then as you shop, you plink, 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 and you just price up all your own stuff that you're buying. And then when you price up all the stuff that you're buying, you can pay for it right there on the thing and call it a day. And return the thing when you're done walking out the place, and you walk out the place. That's kind of cool. I don't know what their measures are in terms of shrinkage, thieves and things, people just, saying that they bought stuff, but they didn't. I don't know what that's like, but the dash cart system is similar to that. I think it's just without the gun. I think it's attached to the cart. But I feel like that's a better system. I would like that system. That's pretty cool. Instead of having to wait a day or two, a week for the receipt for my purchases at an Amazon Go shop. Considering that we're doing it ourselves, you're putting the labor on us to have to price our own stuff, to then have it come out of our card if we're going to use our credit card or our bank card, etc. I do still feel like Amazon should be employing people locally, and they do, because there are stock people that stock those shelves. There are people that have to do that if there's ever any problems with the system, that have to be there. They often execute physical returns at Amazon Go places and Amazon Fresh markets. So there are people that work there. It would just be cool. Just have more people working there. We should have the option to, like ShopRite does, if we want to use the quick self-checkout, if we need to use the cashier, or if we're going to use the proprietary dash cart system or some type of self-scanning system, we should have the choice. I think Amazon should just implement all three of those things and essentially pursue an ability or corner a market where they give you all of the options. In a place like New York City, that I think they would do very well if their sort of slogan is the customer service and wanting to give you all of the options. So the fast-paced, you have an hour for lunch. You're a businessman. You got a sweet run in, run out. You have the ability to sort of dash cart system that, or to self-scan that and just be in and out. Maybe you're buying a few things after work. Just, you're making a specific dish, and y'all didn't have no more parsley. Y'all didn't have no more pasta sauce or whatever. Then you can go in and do a self-checkout. Maybe you're doing a big compra, so you got to do the cart. So it's cool to have all of those options. We'll see what Amazon does. I knew they were going to take a L with this technology, and it was not going to last very long. When it came to New York, I remember niggas was like, we stealing. Like, we're stealing from the place. We're cleaning it out. And they had to come out with measures. If I'm not mistaken, when they first dropped it here, they had to come up with anti-theft measures and show the public what we have here. We will find you if you steal from this place. So that was interesting. Anyway, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about having an end-to-end AI automation for your groceries and how that affects your data privacy? Let me know in the comments. Let's move on. The MTA is a mafia. That is one of the slogans of this show, is that the MTA is a mafia. Okay, don't get it twisted. Money disappears. The MTA is a toilet. The MTA is the black abyss. They will ask for more money and more money and more money and more money, and they'll say it's in the name of this, it's in the name of that, but the money that we were supposed to give you to do the this and the that, you don't do the this and the that. And when you do the this and the that, you do it in a subpar way in order to continue to ask for money for the thing. So you don't solve the problem to which you said the money that we're giving you is attributed to solving. You do something about the problem without solving it. So you cut costs in doing something about the problem instead of solving it, because you need to continue to treat the New York taxpayer, the state, as a bottomless ATM. So I say it's a mafia because that money has to go somewhere. That money disappears somewhere. Whether it's to grease the palms of politicians, whether it's to line the pockets of their CEO and their board, etc. But that money goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. So check this out. The latest in MTA racketeering at its finest, and MTA mafioso dealings at its finest. This is according to CBS News. MTA says congestion pricing money needed to complete the subway MTA suggests MTA says congestion pricing money needed is, I don't like how they wrote this. MTA says congestion pricing money is needed to complete subway signal upgrades. That makes it make a little bit more sense. Now I'm laughing on the inside. This is amazing because I believe we called this. How does the MTA plan to spend the money raised by congestion pricing? Officials say a big priority in modernizing the subway with the latest signal technology. MTA leaders say communications-based train control, known as CBTC, is the saving grace to running trains closer together, meaning faster service. The agency has been working to replace its nearly century-old signal system, but officials warn some lines are at risk of not finishing the installation due to pending congestion pricing lawsuits. That's not true, but let's gaslight y'all. The MTA says ANC trains in Brooklyn and BDF and M trains in Manhattan will see the impacts. These lines were near the top of the list for least on-time performance in 2023, according to recent data, which is why the Fulton line and the 6th Avenue line being in jeopardy is really tragic, quote unquote, said MTA President of Construction and Development Jamie Torres Springer. More than 1.5 million daily riders in some of the most transit-dependent neighborhoods rely on those lines. Officials said during a recent Capitol Committee meeting. CBS New York's Elijah Westbrook asked the committee whether there's a plan B and what else can be done to get the project up and running. Watch what they do. No, quote, MTA chairman and CEO Jana Lieber replied. It's a real concern, quote unquote. The agency says congestion pricing makes up more than 50% of funding for its capital program, and it's unable to use money it doesn't have. Adding, there's just enough to make emergency repairs. Leaders say congestion pricing is expected to collect $1 billion a year to help fund these projects. The new toll, however, faces harsh criticism. It's a hard sell for some New Yorkers. I'll leave it there. They're going to talk about congestion pricing, etc. Right now, there's a few lawsuits happening against it being implemented. Some of those coming out of New Jersey, and I mean like the New Jersey government, federal lawsuits. So yeah, that's a thing. Now, I'm saying watch what they do because it was a few years ago that they had hired transportation planning extraordinaire out of England, if I'm not mistaken, to help in the planning and structuring of the upgrading of the signal system and making our transit system more efficient. Because the primary, at that point, what was paramount was that the signal system gets upgraded, because it had not been, again, centuries old, over a centuries old. Now, I had talked about this in the podcast before, more than a few times. The MTA is a racket when they're integral, right? They're integral. It's privatized. It's a private company that's integral for the mass transportation of individuals in New York City. But the money that they receive in taxpayer dollars and in fares, because remember, the taxpayer in New York State or in New York City is the one that gets screwed over, because it's our tax dollars that go to the MTA at the government level. And then the MTA in turn makes us pay to use a service that should be free, because they get hundreds of millions of dollars from the state government out of our tax pool that we pay. So it should be free. Yes, you're a privatized organization, but you're a private organization, but you are contracted by the state, by the city. So if our money is already earmarked from the funds of the city to go to you, then why does the citizenry have to pay again? So remember that you get screwed over that way, as a taxpayer and as a citizen or as a New Yorker. Keep that in the back of your mind. The MTA is a mafia. So you have all of that money, both of those revenue sources, and throughout the 70s, throughout the 80s, throughout the 90s, you're not going to make any improvements in technology, little by little. Not even little by little. They didn't do it. So where the rest of the world's transit systems, albeit they're not as large or as robust as New York City's transit system is, they would upgrade. As the technology upgraded, they upgraded all the systems as you're supposed to. Little by little, that's what you do. You said, okay, we have there's a new signaling system. There's a new turnstile system that helps to combat fare evasion. Okay, we put it here. We put it there. That's what everybody else did. Not the MTA though. The MTA said, oh, keep giving us hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Keep paying fares that amount to hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And we're just going to keep the system going. We're going to do the bare minimum. If it ain't broke, we're not going to fix it. If it's outdated technology, we don't care. As long as it's working, we're going to keep going. Basically running it until the wheels fall off, kind of a deal. So now the wheels have long since fell off, and they're asking for hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, the whole spiel. And this is what the cycle's been. Over past like 10, 20 years, they've been harping on fare evasion. Oh, there's so much fare evasion. We need more money from the state every year because it's so much fare evasion. We lose all this money, XYZ. In recent months and years, you've seen it on the news, at least here in New York. Oh, that they're getting X amount of money, 200 million, 300 million to combat fare evasion. Okay, what does that mean? You're going to change the turnstiles. Oh, okay. They showed the turnstiles that they were changing it to, and New Yorkers immediately figured out how to cheat the turnstiles because they in no way, shape, or form guard against fare evasion. And then they only put those as a pilot program, and it failed. But you're telling me $200 million, $250, $300 million to put these turnstiles in 4 different locations as a pilot program? It failed. Where's the rest of that money? It didn't take $400 million to do that. Didn't take $200 million to do that. Didn't take $100 million to implement the system. What are you talking about? So shady stuff like that is what the MTA does, and hoping that the people and our governments, our local governments, New York City state governments, hoping that New Yorkers just kind of deal with it, just kind of swallow it, don't revolt, don't protest, don't file lawsuits, etc. Because their tax dollars are not going to what the MTA is saying that it's supposed to be going for. Clearly. Now, when I go back to this dude, I forget his name, Bynum, something like that, from England, he came in, was ready to shake everything up and shake everything down, start firing people, start streamlining their spending so that they don't lose all of these millions of dollars, basically making the MTA efficient and function as a proper company, as a proper transit system or transit company managing the transit system. And what ended up happening, his paramount thing was to do the signal system, because that signal system really messed up. Like I told you, they rode it till the wheels fell off. The wheels fell off. So it needs to be. And he left. He mysteriously left his position. And he was going to be the shining savior of the MTA. New Yorkers were optimistic. It was a whole thing. And he left. Some kind of creative differences, corporate differences, some kind of something. He was gone. He was not about to mess with these CEOs and probably, and again, this is allegedly, their political ties and what they will and won't do. So here we are today, right? Congestion pricing is trash. A lot of the lawsuits happening, because it has to do with the MTA, the congestion pricing. A lot of the lawsuits that are happening have to do with whether or not they take it to the federal level, whether or not the MTA and the city actually held or abided in what they were supposed to in holding proper reviews of what this congestion pricing was and this agenda is and these policies are. If they held proper constitutional sort of meetings and so on to the general public, allowing for the studies that needed to be done to show that it's not gonna negatively impact certain people. And part of that is New Jerseyans, New Jerseyites, people from New Jersey. They didn't do those. They according to the New Jersey government, I think mayor, governor, were like, they didn't do all of those assessments. And that's a problem. So here we are now, right? We have all of this pushback, all of this everything. People know it's not good for the city. It's going to hurt a lot of things in terms of like adding fees to shipping to that area because of the trucks and what they have to incur, all that, a whole lot of stuff. Prices for groceries are going to go up, all kinds of things as a result. Now the MTA wants to go, we're gonna hold the signal system hostage. So we're going to decide to not run efficiently so that we can ensure that our congestion pricing tolls are implemented the way that they have to be. So there's no hiccups legally. So make the legal hiccups go away so that then we can continue our construction on the signal system that so desperately needs to be upgraded. Wild. And what's crazy is that they have all of these West Side lines that are the ones that aren't repaired, but all the East Side lines are. That also means something. Why would you do that? And then they even acknowledge that these stations who move millions of people on the West Side, they're some of the oldest parts of the signal system. And so why wouldn't you begin there at the oldest ones, the most decrepit ones, the ones that are ready for failure? Why would you wait until now? Why would you do the East Side, whose efficiency rates and timings aren't the worst in the city? Why wouldn't you start with the worst ones? You got to see what I'm saying. Got to see what I'm saying here. Now, they recently had a bunch of millions of dollars for the turnstile, bunch of millions of dollars to figure out what they're going to do about crime, right? Bunch of $1 million overtime for the police officers now, because we have National Guard and extra police in the platforms. There was some more money that they had gotten recently. and I forget. So we have all of these policies here, which they haven't used all the money from this, from these things like the turnstile thing, to combat fare evasion. There should be millions of dollars left over from that. So they're saying, oh, right now we're strapped for cash. Really? So y'all could not have fixed the fare evasion by putting floor to ceiling turnstiles at as many stations as possible, or at least the stations that have the most foot traffic coming in, so then y'all could combat fare evasion or begin to kill it? Y'all couldn't have done that with the millions of dollars that they gave you. Instead, you did this weird with glass and plastic thing that people can just swipe once and 10 people can run through it, and is easy to jump over. You see what I'm saying? So now they want to go all of a sudden, because they didn't say this before. They didn't say it. So now all of a sudden that New Jersey dropped lawsuits. There's lawsuits now. Now you want to hold our system for ransom. And this is what happens when you have corporate privatization of public transportation. This is what happens when humans are greedy over generations, over different iterations of CEOs and boards, different makeups of the board, all lining and padding their pockets, allegedly, because where else is the money going to go? It's going somewhere. It ain't going to the system. It ain't going to developing the system. Because why? It takes money to make money. So you put money into the system so it runs efficiently, and you construct your system in a way that fare evasion is near impossible, and those who are fare evaded get prosecuted properly, and you end up making all that money back. But instead they go, we're not going to fix fare evasion. We're going to jack up the prices for you to get on, so that then, because we didn't do anything about fare evasion, evasion, we jack up the prices, let the same amount of people, if not more people, hop the turnstile and don't pay. So then we can tell the state government and the city that look at how much we lost. It's basically a way to inflate the losses, so that then they can ask for a greater operational cost or a greater operational sum to take from the state taxes, from the government. Because if you used simple technologies, which are available and have been available for the past 20 years, to make fare evasion near impossible, then you won't have to jack up your prices. There's no need to inflate your numbers, your losses, in order to ask for, as a justification, to ask for greater payment from the state, because you're operating efficiently. We don't care about efficiency. When greed gets involved, we don't care about efficiency. We don't care. We don't care about how you feel. We don't care about, and then law enforcement jumps on that too. I'm telling you, it's all cahoots, because then they're going to give you like a $200 ticket or something for hopping. But the person that you gave the ticket to probably might not have the money to even pay the fare. So what does that solve? To then give someone a monetary fine who didn't want to pay $3, you think they're gonna pay $150, $200? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's like putting someone in jail, putting a man in jail for not paying child support, but he really can't pay child support because he's in jail. Now he really doesn't have a job. He can't get a job now. You've made it impossible for him to pay on the child support because you put him in jail. There's no, meaning you're not giving a road to wholeness. You're saying, you did a bad thing, or you're in arrears, hop into prison. And then what often happens is, in that situation, the guy goes to prison for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And in those 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because he's not working, he gets to even deeper arrears of child support, because the government takes a cut of that child support, the courts. So the man, you see, do you understand what I'm saying? It's like that. You may not have enough money to pay that $3 to spare. You hop that, they give you $200, and then it's like, well, I don't have the money to pay the $200. So now what? You hop again, you get another ticket. Hop again, get another ticket until it's time for you to get arrested and held. I still don't have the money to pay it. So what do you want? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's the MTA is a mafia, y'all. If y'all haven't believed me yet, if I haven't convinced y'all yet, let this convince y'all. We're gonna hold these lines hostage. The signal and restoration of these lines. We're gonna hold hostage on the west side, most of them. The east side, because the east side money, old money, you better believe they're gonna Park Avenue. You better believe they're gonna fix those green lines. Make sure those green lines are running. You got to think about that too. Whose pockets are being lined? That the east side gets, that's already the most efficient. They were all, 6 is already the most efficient. 5 is already the most efficient. Running in Manhattan. It's often not the most. They do a whole lot of wild stuff when they come into the Bronx. But Manhattan, them joints is running. 4, them joints is running. Them east side lines. So think about that too. That's another one. Why are those going first? Why not the worst train lines going first? So that we can catch up. Anyway, I feel like we've reached the end. I want to rant about Ronda Rousey. Oh my gosh, I'm so tight. I'm so tight about this Ronda Rousey. And I don't want to do it in the Patreon. I want to do it for y'all out here. So maybe next week, I'm going to save this. I'm going to save the Ronda Rousey thing. And next week, I'm going to go crazy. Like, I am livid beyond livid. I mean, what I have to share about what Ronda Rousey's doing, she is a coward. A coward. A herb. I want to use other words, but I'm on YouTube. We got to keep it nice. We got to keep it clean. I'm telling you, she doesn't deserve to be a Hall of Famer. It should be revoked, her Hall of Fame status as a fighter. She should be sued by every organization she's ever worked with. That's the UFC and the WWE. She should be sued by the Nevada Gaming Commission. She should be sued by every commission in every state that she's ever held a mixed martial arts bout in. Sued. I'm telling you. She's on this book tour. I'm telling you the stuff that she's saying. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Oh, my Lord Jesus. I hope Holly Holm pulls up and be like, I was fighting her. She was not, there was nothing wrong with her. I hope that Amanda Nunes pulls up and is like, oh, well, you know, I told you, in her Portuguese accent, my best rendition. I told you she was weak. She was not a champion. She was not a champion. She didn't deserve to be champion. I'm telling you. I'm so tight. Anyway, thank y'all for pulling up. What do I have? Do I have anything to recommend? Did I see something that was like fire this week? I feel like I did and I wanted to recommend it, but it's escaping my mind. It's escaping me. But I was like, yo, this is actually kind of cool. It wasn't Ghostbusters. It definitely wasn't Ghostbusters. What was it? No, it's not Rick and Morty. Golly. Yeah, I don't know. It escapes my mind. But I hope y'all have a great week. Thank y'all so much for pulling up to the podcast. Please follow us on social media. Instagram is all at Social Millennial Pod. Facebook, all at Social Millennial Pod. YouTube, Spotify, it's all there at Social Millennial Pod. Follow us on Spotify. Check the links in the description. The links to the stories that I have talked about today will be in the description. Get some merch. Send us a picture. Tag us on Instagram at Social Millennial Pod. And we will absolutely feature you on our social medias. All right, y'all? Tag us, hashtag us, and we'll do that. All right? Deuces, y'all. Thank you so much. Peace.